Welcome back to Midnight Digital Decay, deep within the quiet corners of northern Italy, in a village that no longer exists on any map. There was once a library that held more than just books. It was known only to a select few as the Crimson Archive, a place where knowledge itself took on a life of its own, where the written word wasn't merely preserved but twisted. The entrance was hidden, concealed within the basement of a crumbling church. To the unknowing eye, it appeared to be nothing more than a modest collection of forgotten tomes, gathering dust in the dark. But for those who knew the truth, the Crimson Archive was a repository for forbidden knowledge, texts that had been removed from human circulation for the sake of sanity and survival. The origins of the library remain shrouded in mystery, but legends suggest it was founded in the early 16th century by a group of rogue scholars who dabbled in arcane arts. These scholars sought to catalog every book ever written, not only those penned by man, but also those whispered into existence by unknown forces, forces that humans were never meant to understand. At the heart of the library was a single entity, a figure known only as the Librarian. Eyewitness accounts vary, but most describe this figure as a tall, gaunt woman with alabaster skin, clad in a tattered crimson robe that seemed to flow as if alive. She was rarely seen moving, instead appearing to glide between the shelves, her eyes fixed on any who dared venture too close. But her true nature was even more unsettling than her appearance. The Librarian did not guard the books. She was the books. Visitors who managed to gain entry into the Crimson Archive reported an eerie silence, far too quiet, as if the very air had been muffled. No sound penetrated from the outside world, and the only noise came from the occasional shuffling of pages. As one entered the depths of the library, the books themselves began to change. At first, they seemed normal enough, though the subjects were obscure. The texts themselves were legible, if unnerving. But the deeper one went, the stranger the books became. Many of the volumes lacked any clear title or author, written in languages no living human could decipher. Some were inked in what appeared to be blood, while others had pages that shifted like the skin of a living creature. The more one read, the more the book seemed to respond. Texts would morph and rearrange themselves, sometimes even altering their content to match the reader's thoughts, fears, or desires. And this was the trap. To read within the Crimson Archive was to lose oneself, not just mentally, but spiritually. The knowledge contained within these cursed tomes was not meant for human minds to comprehend. Those who tried to absorb too much found their consciousness unraveling, their sense of self dissolving into the very pages they read. Rumors of the Crimson Archive began to spread in occult circles, drawing the attention of mystics, scholars, and adventurers. Few who sought the library ever returned, but the stories of those who did escape only fueled further curiosity. One such tale involved a British antiquarian named Oliver Camden, who claimed to have found the archive while researching lost medieval texts in 1927. Camden's diary, discovered after his disappearance, detailed his obsession with the library. His entries began normally enough, notes on obscure texts and strange languages he encountered. But as the days wore on, his writing became more erratic. He described a growing sense of unease, as though the library itself were watching him. The librarian, though rarely seen, became a constant presence in his mind. Camden wrote of hearing her voice whispering to him in the dead of night, urging him to keep reading, to delve deeper into the forbidden knowledge contained within the archive. The final entry in Camden's diary was brief and disturbing. He wrote of finding a book that seemed to call to him, its pages filled with names of every person he had ever known, every secret he had ever kept. And then, at the very end, his own name appeared, written in ink that bled across the page. His final words, "The book is me." Camden was never seen again. Please like, comment, and subscribe for more of this content. It lets me know people enjoy it and motivates me to continue to create it for you all. If you haven't already, check out my link tree in the description for more esoterica.